Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy, Is It or Not, with a question mark. And today's topic of discussion is gonna be brought to you by one of my favorite friends out of California, a special friend. Today's topic of discussion will be about why relationships don't work. Let's talk. For most of us, from the time we was born up until now, the concept of relationships have always consisted of commitment between two people, whether that's female and male, woman and woman, or male and male. A relationship always have pretty much consisted of commitment, loyalty between two people. I believe that the reason that relationships fail is because the human race, we fail to realize that we are a living organism. That is what we are. The male, me, a man, we are put on this planet to reproduce. Reproduction is really just another way of saying survive, securing the race of our species. That's what that means. The reason relationships fail is because no one was ever really intended to spend the rest of their life with one person. But why is it that we have this concept of a relationship in society in the year 2021, in which we stand today? Well, from a financial standpoint, it's perfect. It's perfect for a global economy where, from a legal standpoint, which they made it either legal or illegal to do, relationships between two people is the only thing that's normal or really legitimate, legal. That's it. Now, why is it this way? Well, let's look at it like this for a fact. Why do relationships fail? And I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. But first, let's just look at it. If you have a woman and a man in a household and they together are basically bringing their income together, working hard, they're having children, raising children, teaching their children to be great. They don't never really go nowhere from that point. They become complacent, they become adapted, they become comfortable, I guess, or just like, fuck it. It is what it is. But the reason why the government doesn't really push for polygamy relationships, which would be way more successful than the normal relationships, which is always failing at an extremely high percentage. We talking well over 75% of the relationships, they crash. Nobody really lasts. It's a rare thing that you find somebody that you really want to spend the rest of your life with. But just because you find somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with doesn't mean they feel the same way. And that's when problems occur, and that's when the shit crash. One of the main reasons why relationships crash is because of financial reasons too. In a polygamy relationship where there's a man, let's just say there's 4 women. We'll just bring it down to 3. 1 man, 3 women. Every one of these individuals are working a job. What happens if every one of these individuals decide to, we're gonna work 2 jobs? Do you know how fast you can accumulate income? Basically, you're going from 2 incomes to 4. But imagine times in 4 incomes by 2. Now you got 8 incomes. That is a lot of money that you can accumulate really fast. A lot of people say, well, that's gonna take a lot of budgeting and a lot of discipline, but it really won't, man. It's just really, with each individual, they can still basically reach their goals. You see what I'm getting at? The problem is these relationships, most people go into relationships and they want that lovey-dovey shit. They want the commitment from one person, but they're not thinking from a logical standpoint. And when reality sets in, motherfuckers got bills to pay. When you start having kids, you learn real fast that children are not cheap. To get your kid a higher education requires you to bring in more money. You need a lot more money. Working a job doesn't always fix the problem or isn't always a solution to the problem. Working a job is usually just for people who are not able to start their own business. But the average person working a 9-to-5 job will almost never be able to start their own business without a loan. You see what I'm getting at? Or the help from a friend. But even then, that's still a loan that you're gonna have to pay back. So you're not even in the range of profiting anything until you pay back your debt. What's the point of starting a business if you're gonna be starting that motherfucker in debt? They say almost 80% of business that start, they fail within the first year. Well, guess what? Most people, when they start their business, they don't have nothing to fall back on. So if that motherfucker, if they come short within that first year, they asked out. They gotta close that bitch down and go back to McDonald's. And we just speaking facts. Shit. Relationships fail because people believe that they have to accept the concept of what a relationship is given to them by society. But each and every one of us have a choice to make a decision on what we believe a relationship should be. Most women say they don't want to share. Most men is territorial. But when we thinking from a logical standpoint and we trying to evolve as human beings, we got to start thinking outside the box here, because if you take 4 individuals and they working their ass off, guess what? You work on one goal at a time, but you can complete these goals at a much faster rate. We're talking extremely fast. Every year for the next 4 years, each one of y'all can open up your own business. You follow what I'm getting at? Every year, one person out of that relationship, based on that amount of income coming in, can start your own business. Most people are going into relationships and they're not thinking about the relationship from a business standpoint or from a financial business standpoint. I mean, life is really about being able to get to a point where we all are comfortable. You could spend the next 5-10 years with a motherfucker you think you love, care about. That's still not gonna take away the fact that you're gonna be still working that 9-to-5 fucking job. You see what I'm getting at? You're still gonna be fucking working. You're gonna be working for the next 10-20 years, because in the process of being in a relationship with somebody, you're gonna probably have children. And guess what? Any plans to open the business, that's gonna go right out the fucking window. Trust me. I know. So at the end of the day, we all gotta make a decision. Most relationships are not failing because 2 people just can't get along. It's just really a matter of, what are we doing? It's the same scenario, it's the same concept from one relationship to the next relationship. It's the same thing. No relationship is gonna be successful if these individuals are not willing to be open-minded. I believe that if especially in America, there's no reason why any of us should be struggling. You see what I'm getting at? Every one of us should be living like kings and queens. But that'll never happen if we don't evolve from a mental standpoint. If we don't start disregarding our feelings. We need to get out of our feelings and start getting into our money, man. You know, 4 people willing to come together, or even more. If you're willing to come together and put aside your feelings, you can probably be a millionaire within 5 years. Even if it doesn't work out with you and your significant others or your partners, that's what we'll call them, financial partners with benefits. Financial partners with benefits. Now that sounds pretty good. No longer will we be going into relationships, we'll be going into financial partnerships with individuals that we will have special benefits with. But the primary goal is to what? To be in a financial position to live comfortably. To be in a financial position to not have to worry about if your phone bill gonna be paid, if the rent is gonna be paid, if your car note is gonna be paid. God damn, it's 2021 and motherfuckers are still paying car notes. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm just speaking from my standpoint. I'm just giving you my thought process on why I think relationships they are almost never successful. I mean, you can pause this video, go on the internet, and look up the divorce rate for the military. What is the point of getting married? What is the point of getting in relationships if you really don't have any real goals? I mean, we're talking real goals, financial goals, but you can't necessarily have no real financial goals if you're not coming together. We need to let go of the ideal of what they tell us what a relationship is and start creating our own concepts. Because at the end of the day, can't nobody, fuck. Sorry about that, had a power outage, but I'm back. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, once you do your research on this, you know, this is pretty much factual information. What I'm saying is, can't nobody tell me that I'm wrong for saying that polygamy or a financial partnership with benefits is not as good as what's going on now, when what's going on now is not even working. At the rate that people are separating and divorcing, whether you're married or in a simple relationship, is so high that we need to start looking in a different direction. We have to, or we're gonna keep running around in this dumbass circle, this motherfucking rat race. That's exactly what it is, a fucking rat race. You know, it's insanity for us to keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, while we are simultaneously getting the same results. Relationships are not crashing because we are bad people. Relationships are crashing because we all want to be at a point in this life, and at some point, if we feel that we're not gonna be able to reach that level with this individual, really, a lot of times, man, relationships crack and motherfuckers just fucked up financially. You see what I'm saying? That shit'll crash a relationship, man. You know what I'm saying? When you can't fucking just say, hey, let's get on the plane and go to fucking Hawaii. You can't, most motherfuckers can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Two motherfuckers in a relationship and they got a motherfucking baby or motherfucking kids, they would never be able to do that shit, period. They'll be doing the same shit, going to work, fucking waking their fucking kids up for school every motherfucking day. 5 days a fucking week. And they gonna do this shit for the next 10 or 15 years. When they could have just avoided all of this shit by by disregarding the normal concept of what a relationship is and moving towards the future. And the future is gonna be polygamy. But this is something that the government is against. The government don't want you retiring early. The government don't want you to be financially stable to the point where you can just open up a business and be reckless. You see what I'm getting at? Because you'll have so much money coming in that if one business fails, you still got the other three. You see what I'm getting at? But think about it. If you have more successful people with their own business, and who do you get to work at McDonald's? Who do you have work at Walmart? Who do you have work at these fucking jobs that the rich people would never let their children work at? That's like some peasant shit. Think about it. The government will not condone, they will not advocate, they will not push for polygamy relationships because it will push people into retirement way earlier. It will push people out of the working industry. We're talking about the blue collar workers. That shit is over with. Because of people, but this ain't necessarily on the government either, because at the end of the day, you don't necessarily have to be married to have a polygamy relationship. You don't gotta announce to the whole world, these are my girlfriends or these are my significant others. Y'all can just be living together and doing what the fuck y'all gotta do. You can have 3 motherfuckers busting their ass for a whole year straight, but the motherfucker that's willing to sit home, take care of the home, cook the food, watch the kids, that's the person that's gonna get to open their business first. And then the next year, it's the same thing around. Somebody else is gonna sit around and help out around the house for the most part. But it's for the ultimate goal. Instead of waiting 30 or 40 years to retire or to live a good life, why not wait only 4 or 5? 4 or 5 years versus 30 and 40 motherfucking years working at these stupid ass jobs. Wake up, man. Relationships are not crashing because we are bad people. We are all good people. It's the money. It's the money, or it's the financial debt. It's the financial, it's really just not, it's really just the point that we don't have enough to really do what we want to do. We can't live a life that we really want. You see what I'm getting at? So y'all gonna either wake up or y'all ass gonna stay asleep. So that's your answer to why relationships don't work. Until somebody else can explain to me a different reason why relationships don't work. I'm not coming with you just the reason why they don't work. I'm coming to you also with a solution to make them work better. Stop thinking that a relationship consists of 2 people. They want you to think that, and it's wrong. You are old enough. If you are old enough to understand what I'm saying in my mouth, you are old enough to use your brain and think up your own concepts. How you perceive the world will be the world that you live in. I appreciate y'all watching my video. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe for more.